It's been 9 years since we've been treated to a single-player Star Wars campaign that wasn't just an afterthought addition to please fans. But Jedi Fallen Order is here, and it is here to entertain. Fallen Order is the AAA title that Star Wars fans have been waiting for. Jedi are fading into legend, and those who survived Order 66 are in hiding from a galaxy attempting to erase any memory left of the Old Republic. Jedi Fallen Order follows a young Jedi named Cal Kestis shortly after Order 66 was issued. From the opening cutscene, the game shows off its beautiful scenery covered with designs from the original trilogy and the prequels that isn't only there for fan service, but actually makes sense in the context of the story. It helps expand on the Star Wars lore by explaining why we don't see any Republic cruisers, clone carriers, or separatist battle stations in the original trilogy. During Cal's journey, you will explore planets and face off against enemies using the iconic lightsaber, an elegant weapon for a more civilized age. So far, Fallen Order sounds like very familiar territory. Past Star Wars games that incorporated lightsabers utilize more of a hack-and-slash combat system, but you'll find that you won't live long trying that in this game. Instead, the game focuses on defensive play, which actually makes lightsaber combat feel very fresh. When facing an enemy, you will have to dodge and parry until an opening presents itself to strike them down. Trust in the Force, but don't solely rely on it. You'll quickly find that it won't bail you out, but instead help create an opening for you to attack. I found that this change in fighting style actually had me excited to face new enemies and figure out how to beat them, since each enemy has its own little puzzle. This game feels like Respawn decided they wanted to make a cool action-adventure game, but couldn't decide whether they wanted to make a Tomb Raider/Uncharted game, and in the end decided to throw a Star Wars skin on it. From running on walls and swinging on ropes and vines to squeezing through gaps and literally tomb raiding, this game doesn't try hard to hide its inspiration. From a technical standpoint though, I have to say this game disappoints in more ways than one. For example, on console, it runs at a mere 30 frames per second, and sometimes even less. This is just completely unacceptable for a game in 2019. It is quite jarring, but what is even more jarring are the frame hitches that come when the game has to load a new area of the map. Expect for there to be times where you get down to maybe 8 frames per second, even on a high-end PC. However, the graphics do look great, and it is definitely one of the most beautiful games I've ever played, with highly detailed photorealistic environments covered with superb lighting. It is amazing, but is that a good compromise? That is ultimately up to you. While I do take issue with the technical downfalls, especially for the console editions of the game, the gameplay itself is fantastic, and unlike anything we've seen in a Star Wars video game to date. I do wish the story would have had more to offer. Most times you arrive at a planet not really knowing why and just following a yellow objective marker. However, the gameplay more than makes up for the story's downfalls. I find myself constantly wanting to go out of my way to run into enemies and fight them. Surprisingly, EA, specifically Respawn Entertainment, has done an amazing job with this game, and I highly recommend checking it out. For more videos on Xbox games, news, and coverage, make sure to subscribe to Live on Xbox and follow us on Twitter at live_on_Xbox.